Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
Firefighters had a busy afternoon containing multiple brush fires in Brazos County. A fire on the east side of Brazos County took more than 30 minutes to get under control. Firefighters say they did have some trouble accessing the site due to a creek bed and recent rains. Brazos County Precinct 3 Volunteer Fire Department and other agencies put that fire out after about 5 acres burned, including a hayfield. This was near Hardy Whedon Road and Lakefront Drive. Fire officials say the cause of the fire was a controlled burn that got out of control.
Yeah, one thing that did not help kind of contain some of those fires is the fact that we've just had really dry air on hand throughout the day today. And that's what's going to help temperatures kind of cool off pretty quickly as we head into this Saturday evening. Temperatures right now sitting in the upper 40s, right around low 50s across the Brazos Valley. We do have a pretty calm wind on hand. But I mentioned those falling temperatures for as we head into the next couple of hours tonight. If you are planning on heading out for any kind of just Saturday night activities, I would take the extra layer with you as temperatures fall through the 40s and feels like temperatures fall into the upper 30s. And we're kind of just going to continue that cooling trend as we head into the overnight hours tonight. It'll be another chilly start for our Sunday morning before we start to see more sunshine heading into the back half of the weekend, and a warming trend takes us into the upcoming week. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Mia. A group of Republican senators, one of which being Ted Cruz, plans to object Joe Biden's Electoral College win by demanding an audit of the 2020 presidential election results. Tom Hansen has more from New York.
11 of President Trump's Senate Republican allies announced a last-ditch effort to challenge President-elect Joe Biden's election victory. In a joint statement Saturday, the senators, including Ted Cruz of Texas and Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, acknowledged their efforts have almost no chance of changing the outcome. They wrote, "We are not naive. We fully expect most, if not all, Democrats and perhaps more than a few Republicans to vote otherwise. But support of election integrity should not be a partisan issue."
This audit will answer the questions as to what happened in some of the disputed states. Of course, Pennsylvania, there are so many questions around Pennsylvania.
Amy Klobuchar, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Rules Committee with jurisdiction over federal elections, said in a statement, Joe Biden will be inaugurated on January 20th, and no publicity stunt will change that. Earlier this week, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley sided with a group of House conservatives who want to prompt a debate and put the results up for vote.
This is the only opportunity that I have to be heard and to speak up on behalf of my constituents.
Congress convenes Wednesday to certify the electoral vote, normally a formality. But President Trump's unsubstantiated claims of fraud leave some Republicans under pressure to question the results. Vice President Mike Pence will preside over the counting of the votes. He and the Justice Department asked a Texas federal judge to throw out a long-shot lawsuit aimed at empowering him to overturn the results. Late Friday, the judge dismissed that case. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
The Electoral Commission would have full investigatory and fact-finding authority to conduct an emergency audit of election returns in disputed states. States would then evaluate findings and certify vote changes if needed. And as happy as so many of us are to say goodbye to 2020, the harsh reality is we are nowhere near saying goodbye to COVID-19 just yet. And as Britt Conway reports, doctors expect things to get much worse before they get better.
We may have turned the page on a new year, but we're far from turning the page on COVID-19. The U.S. topped 20 million total confirmed infections on the first day of 2021. More than 10,000 people died here in the last 3 days of 2020. And Dr. Anthony Fauci says we just have to assume that it's going to get worse. Dr. Nicholas Christakis with Yale University and Dr. Megan Ranney with Brown University agree.
We are by no means out of the woods of this pandemic. We're not even at the beginning of the end, I would say.
We have more cases, we have more hospitalizations, we have travel that's going to lead to further surges in January. Now we have this new version of the virus that's going to spread more easily and make our hospitals still more full.
Yes, we have vaccines, but the rollout isn't going as many experts had hoped.
That is a logistics failure.
Looking ahead, Dr. Christakis doesn't think we'll reach herd immunity until 2022.
Meanwhile, the germ is spreading,
which is why he puts economic recovery even farther down the line.
It's still going to take some time to recover from the social and psychological and economic shock
After that, he predicts a sort of free-for-all reminiscent of the Roaring '20s. But until then,
we're going to have to continue to wear masks and have intermittent school closures and business closures and gathering bans and so on.
A new year, but not a new reality. Not yet. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Higher COVID-19 hospitalization rates in our area are still impacting how some local businesses operate. New restrictions have closed bars that don't serve food, including in Burleson County, where Fort Half Moon Saloon had to close earlier this week for the time being. Restaurants in our region are also going back down to 50% capacity, but restaurants and bars in the city of College Station will be allowed to continue operating at 75% capacity as the city awaits official documents from Governor Greg Abbott's office. The scaled back operations are set to be in place until the hospitalization rate in our region falls below 15% for 7 consecutive days. Bars and restaurants in the area are gearing up for the Aggies Orange Bowl game. News 3's Donnie Tuggle spoke with a few businesses about their expectations and how they're getting ready for a safe but fun game day experience.
Besides an Aggie win, restaurants and bars in Aggieland are expecting to score big with their customers.
Usually game days are really good for us, whether they're home or away, especially this year with a lot of travel restrictions. People are staying home, staying in town, so hopefully they'll come out and see us.
Ryder Lehus is a manager at the World of Beer, Bar, and Kitchen in College Station. He says any game day draws in sports fans.
Really good turnout, a lot in part because of our patio. A lot of people enjoyed being outside, and it feels a little safer. It's not as intimate of a setting. You're kind of out in the open.
At Hungry Howie's Pizza in College Station, Jeremiah O'Sullivan says he's gearing up for a long night of deliveries.
Usually, Aggie football game on TV does bring a lot of delivery business. We offer our no-contact delivery and our curbside pickup as well. But, people are at home watching the game. Sometimes they don't want to go out.
Lehus says every TV will be tuned into the Aggie game for those who want to watch in a fun but safe environment.
Encourage everybody to enjoy themselves while keeping the safe distance and, keeping the Aggie spirit.
In College Station, Donnie Tuggle, News 3.
All of the businesses we spoke to today say the safety of the staff and customers is top priority, and they're continuing to follow the guidelines set by the Brazos County Health District. Well, coming up, what makes Brazos Valley Water special is this week's From the Ground Up.
It's all about people, it's all about home, working together, loving our own. From country roads to our city streets, it's the neighbors we love and the new ones we meet. KBTX, the very best we can give. We're here where you need us, here where you live, seeing life the way that you choose. Oh, yeah. News 3, this is your news. KBTX. Time that we share, it's for you, it's for me. People who care, Brazos Valley, this is for you. News 3, this is your news. Whoa, whoa.
You're watching News 3 at 6 on KBTX.
Did you know water in the Brazos Valley is among the most drought resistant in the world? The same scientists who monitor our groundwater system are also working on other ways to ensure our water security for generations to come. Here's this week's From the Ground Up.
If we keep treating water like nothing more than a commodity, sooner or later we won't have the abundance that we enjoy today.
Scientists in the Post Oak Savannah Groundwater Conservation District know how important water is to Texas and the Brazos Valley.
Our rules are intended to allow producers to produce an amount of water that would sustain their needs.
Gary Westbrook and his colleagues are leading the charge in not only using water deep beneath the ground, but also from rain that falls from above. Bobby Bazan is the water resource specialist for his district.
It doesn't always come when we want it, and it doesn't come where we want it sometimes. So rainwater harvesting allows us to capture it so that we can use it when it is available and make it available to us in times like we've had the last 3 months where it hasn't rained very much.
Although the Brazos Valley has a safe, drought-resistant water source, Bazan says folks around the state aren't as lucky.
There's areas of our state where they don't have access to that good, fresh, clean groundwater. And so they're having to treat it, or they're having to bring in additional sources of water, such as, finding that rainwater.
While the larger scale use can help our neighbors, Bazan says this water is free of naturally occurring minerals in our groundwater.
When we get that rainwater, it doesn't have those salts on it, so the plants love it and they grow and they flourish a lot more.
From sprucing up our gardens to providing safe and clean water for our Lone Star communities, this millennium-old technology is getting modernized for our use in Texas and around the world. That's a look at Central Texas agriculture from the ground up.
From the Ground Up is sponsored by Producers Cooperative, proudly serving agriculture since 1943.
Well, plenty of sunshine takes us into a warmer back half of the weekend. We'll get you a look at your pinpoint forecast after the break.
News 3 weather from the Pinpoint Forecast team is sponsored by First Financial Bank. Local bankers putting you first. And now, local weather.
Well, today was kind of a backwards day compared to what we saw yesterday. Watch as I take you through a time lapse of what it looked like outside here over Briarcrest and Highway 6 in Bryan. We started the day off with a little bit more of the cloud cover, but as we headed throughout the Saturday morning and into the afternoon, a lot of that really burned off, and we were just left with beautiful blue skies and plenty of sunshine. And the reason being is really that we've kind of just had a high pressure system move in, and it's just trying to anchor itself over the state of Texas. You'll notice as we kind of get a look here at satellite and radar across the state, we're just not really seeing much activity out there. And I think that's kind of going to be the tune that we see as we head into the back half of the weekend. We'll start chilly with temperatures down in the mid-30s tonight, so definitely bundle up if you're planning on heading out early to church or any other Sunday morning activities. But I do expect us to kind of just keep this fairly quiet weather pattern into the back half of the weekend with plenty of sunshine in store heading throughout our Sunday. Temperatures warming up into the mid-60s, and it will be pretty breezy out there at times with the southwest wind on hand at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting upwards of about 25 miles per hour through portions of our Sunday afternoon. But as we head into the beginning of the upcoming week, we're kind of just going to keep that high pressure system around, and that's what's going to allow us to just see the sunshine and really just keep that quiet and calm weather pattern heading into the beginning of the upcoming week. Mostly sunny skies will take us into at least our Monday and into our Tuesday as well. And what that's going to do, combined with a little bit more of that drier air, is it's going to help temperatures warm up a little bit in the afternoons, kind of as we head into our Monday and Tuesday, upper 60s, and even the potential to once again reach that 70-degree mark. You'll notice though our overnight lows. We start chilly again heading into tomorrow morning as well as Monday and Tuesday, but as we get a little bit closer to Wednesday, we start to see those overnight lows reach just a little bit on the warmer side right now in the low 50s. That's thanks to the fact that as we get a little bit closer to midweek, we're going to start to see that southeasterly breeze return, and what that's going to do is it's going to pump in just a little bit more moisture into the southeastern portion of the state of Texas, and that's what's going to help raise our dew points. Now kind of combine that as our next high pressure system moves off towards the east, I do think we'll see just enough moisture kind of on the front side of this system for as we see a low pressure move across the plains, it's going to drag our next cold front into the state of Texas, and that's what's going to give us the chance to see another kind of round of some widespread showers and maybe a few thunderstorms embedded within some of that activity for our Wednesday before temperatures kind of start to stop that warming trend, and we'll sit a little bit on the cooler side in the 60s heading into the back half of next week. And speaking of kind of some of those cooler temperatures, that's where we're sitting right now. Upper 40s across our eastern counties, low 50s across the western portion of the area. We're sitting at 53 degrees here in Bryan and College Station. Definitely take the extra layer if you are headed out for any of those Saturday evening plans, as temperatures fall through the 40s, wind chills fall into the upper 30s, and once again it'll be a chilly start to our Sunday morning tomorrow before we kind of just watch the sunshine stick around and a warming trend takes us into the beginning of the upcoming week.
Looks like beautiful weather. Thank you very much, Mia. Coming up in sports, hear from both Jimbo Fisher and Mac Brown ahead of the Aggies Orange Bowl game against North Carolina. Plus, A&M basketball goes down to the wire to pull off the home win against Auburn.
The wait is almost over. We're about 40 minutes away from Texas A&M's Orange Bowl matchup with North Carolina. It'll be the Aggies' second ever appearance in the Orange Bowl. The other was a 19-14 loss to LSU back in 1944. Now the Aggies enter tonight's game 8-1 on the season and ranked number 5. They'll close out the 2020 campaign against the North Carolina team led by former Texas head coach Mack Brown. The Maroon and White have a chance to finish Jimbo Fisher's 3rd season in Aggieland with an Orange Bowl win, which is the same way he wrapped up his 3rd year at Florida State. That was the year before the Seminoles won a national title.
You have to get in these situations and play these types of games to understand how to be the team that you really want to be and win championships. And this is a huge stage for us, what we've done, what our kids have done, and hopefully we'll play well. But yes, hopefully we can keep on the same track, that's for sure.
When we were at Texas and A&M went to the SEC, I said, I don't know if I'd do that or not. And they are a factor in probably the hardest division in college football. And they've done a very, very good job in that area, and they're recruiting well. So I applaud Jimbo and A&M for all the success that they're having.
The Aggies' Orange Bowl matchup with North Carolina is scheduled for a 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. The game will be televised on ESPN. A couple of SEC teams already won their bowl games today. Ole Miss took down 11th-ranked Indiana 26-20. They finished 5-5 on the year, and Kentucky won their 3rd bowl game in a row with a 23-21 win over number 23 NC State. Texas fired its head football coach Tom Herman today after 4 seasons with the team. Herman only led the Longhorns to 1 Big 12 title game appearance. Texas will now move on to its 4th head coach since its last Big 12 title in 2009 under Mack Brown. Texas announced that Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian will be the new head coach for the Longhorns. The Texas A&M men's basketball team opening the home portion of their conference schedule today against Auburn. In the first half, Kevin Marfo starts the scoring for the Aggies with a jam that ties the score up at 2 apiece. Auburn picks up a steal. Justin Powell alley-oop to Alan Flanagan, who finishes, ties the game up at 4. They go back and forth like that until Quentin Jackson knocks down the 3 as part of an Aggies 11-0 run. They go into the half up 33-22. Into the second half, A&M builds on their lead. Jackson knocks down another triple to extend the lead to 14, but Auburn battles back off the fast break. Thor to Devin Cambridge, gives it back to him for the dunk, and the Tigers were within 3. Jalen Williams picks up the steal, gets it up to Cambridge for 2 off the glass. It's all tied up at 64. Just over a second left in the game, tied at 66. Andre Gordon's going to take care of business, makes a move, gets the jumper to fall, and the Aggies come away with a 68-66 victory. Now in high school hoops, A&M Consolidated Girls starting the new year hosting Brenham. First quarter, Ariana Lewis with a nice move to get inside, then she'll lay it up and in, count the bucket and the foul. Cubets down by 1. Second quarter, still a 1-point game. Kira Merrill takes it coast to coast, finishes with a nice up and under layup at the rim. Then Courtney Hopkins is going to hit the baseline jumper for the Lady Tigers. They take a 4-point lead, but Lewis gets the steal, lays it in. Brenham takes it down to the wire and holds off the Lady Tigers 41-40. Plenty of other high school hoops today, a couple of them. Snook girls beat Navasota, and Dimebox boys with an 18-point victory over Somerville.
Well, if you want to head out early tomorrow morning and try to catch the Codrington meteor shower, it peaks in between midnight and just before sunrise tomorrow. We are expecting some clear skies, but the moon is going to be pretty bright out there, so that might kind of hinder some of your ability to see those meteors. But we do have the potential to see about 60 to 200 meteors per hour. If you do want to try and catch that, again, early tomorrow morning, all you have to do is just look north near the Big Dipper. And it'll be pretty chilly out there. We start the morning in the 30s tomorrow, but then we are looking at a better warm-up into the afternoon with more sunshine, and that is kind of going to be the story that we take into the upcoming week as high pressure sets in and that warming trend takes us into our Monday as well as Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Mia. That's our report for now. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you right back here tonight at 10.
It is the question that matters the most.
¿Dónde está?
That takes you behind the story.
Robert.
It drives everything we do. It is the foundation of trust.
Who did all of this?
And the truth that propels us forward.
What did you make of that?
It is the question. One word, 3 letters long. And without it, our purpose,
that's news,
and our freedom fade. This is why.